vote them out? Is that the shocker, or is the shocker here that KBF have joined alongside the Tonse Alliance? Well, we speak with the Zambia Must Prosper leader in Mr. Kelvin Fube Bwalya. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to have you here.
It's
great to
raining.
have our neighbor in the building.
What would you again?
We're saying he almost joined us virtually. We said he's so close. That would have been, yes, it's only right that you join us in studio. And we're happy to have you.
No, I'm happy to be here. And it's warm in here.
It's warm in here.
It's cold out there. It's raining. It's muddy, but it's nice here.
It's nice here. Well, we don't know how this is or how things are going, but let's talk. Let's get straight into our conversation and talk about Zambia Must Prosper joining the Tonse Alliance. What exactly necessitated this move?
The Zambian people.
The Zambian people.
Right. The Zambian people have been crying for direction. The Zambian people have been crying for leadership. The Zambian people have been directing us to move in a certain way in unison. They want a united front so that they can be sure that in 2026 the UPND is out of power. And that is the promise that we want to give the Zambian people. We want to make sure that we are united, we give the direction, and we have the best manifesto that they can live up to. In politics, the social contract between a political party or a political alliance is made with the people and a political conglomerate on the basis of one manifesto. So we want to put our manifestos together and come up with one clear policy direction to say this is how we're going to go, and that's what we're going to do.
With the Zambian people that you mentioned have necessitated this move, well, how exactly was communication to you that you picked that it's the Zambian people that are communicating that they need you to make to join this alliance, the Tonse Alliance?
It's not just about Tonse. It's about coming together in whatever form or shape. The Zambian people have been crying that they want the opposition united. Tonse has just been a vehicle that has been made available, and we think in Tonse we find home as Zambia Must Prosper. You know that there has been UKA, for instance, and UKA, I'm sorry, I don't know where they are now.
Which is strange, because it's a party that you didn't, well, it's an alliance you didn't show interest in. We never saw you at any of their pressers. But now we see Tonse Alliance, and you're already, well, you have aligned yourselves with Tonse Alliance. Others would say maybe there were members within UKA that you didn't, see favor in. But oddly, with Tonse, the former Republican president is in that party, and it's no secret that the kind of relationship you share with the former president. Could he have been the motivator in Zambia Must Prosper joining the Tonse Alliance? I'm just asking, Wafu.
I see I'm being cross-examined now. Let's put it this way. When you are being courted, or when you're courting friends and you're trying to get into an alliance, what you look at basically is the chemistry, the camaraderie, and sometimes background also matters. It is not too far-fetched to say that Zambia Must Prosper, and I personally do share a history with the former Republican president. So PF has always been our baby, so to speak. Second, the members of Tonse, most of them, I have a relationship with them. When other alliances came, other people approached us to see if we could put our heads together. What is it that the English say? Ego is a problem. So we found that there was a bit of ego in certain arrangements, in certain people. I think you remember that there was a time when I took it upon myself personally to go round visiting various political parties in their own secretariat. I went round and I visited them, and I saw them, how they are arranged, how they are organized, and how they want things to go.
Right.
But over and above that, I was also looking not just about the personal relationship, but I was looking to see manifestos. Because like I said, it is the manifesto that you contract the Zambian people with to enter into that social contract. Most political parties didn't show a manifesto. And I realized that there's a problem. You can't go to the people and say we want to lead when you don't have something to sell. So I found that as a problem, and I said no. When Tonse came and we began to engage, Tonse, the engagement, the courting was with the church, unions, political parties. But like I said, at a personal level, we have this personal relationship with most of the members in Tonse. So I felt very comfortable. But more so, there's this liberal approach within Tonse. There was not this rigidity that was seen with others that I found in Tonse.
A liberal approach in the sense that it gives you space to be able to vie for presidency or be the representation of an alliance.
Not really that. Not really that, Malama. No, before we get into leadership, it's about ideas.
Okay.
The ideas that were being discussed, the ideas that were being espoused. That, to me, showed the camaraderie. But the way the ideas were being espoused, the way the ideas were being propounded, that also put me in a position where you say, okay, here you can be a small party, but you can speak. You have a voice on the table.
Your vote matters.
Your vote
on
matters.
Issues. Okay.
Whereas when we began to engage, and like I was saying, this was in the background with some of the Uka people, it was always about a straight line. Politics is never a straight line. If anybody says politics is a straight line, then they're fooling themselves. And that's not the way to go. You must always expect this bend it like Beckham kind of approach. And then you think, okay, there might be things from the blind side. If you don't see those things coming, you're in trouble politically. So the approach that I found in Tonse was liberal. Ideas were flowing. And respect at that table was mutual. I found that mutual.
Okay. Now, with Tonse, the Patriotic Front, like Malama has said, being a part of Tonse, in fact, till now, Tonse has insisted that leader is our former president, ECL, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Yes, decent relationship that you had shared with some of the members of the Patriotic Front, but can't again stay away from the fact that you had at some point been a part of the UPND alliance and criticized the Patriotic Front. So what has changed in the Patriotic Front that you are now thinking that you align with that is different from where they were at the time you were criticizing the Patriotic Front?
Let's start from the premise that Tonse is not PF. PF is not Tonse.
But the current leader of the Tonse Alliance...
I do get that. I'm just trying to put that as a premise because it is amalgamation. Those very many political parties coming together. However, I'll give you credit to you. The PF is the biggest party in Tonse. Taken. That's true. And I found that decision already made. Any political leader must go into a grouping. The things that your friends have done previously, you don't go and upset the apricot simply because you've arrived. That decision was taken when I wasn't a member of Tonse. I will accept that decision. And I will be led.
Okay.
Yes. It's interesting that you say that you'll be led. There's a Tonse Plan B, Tonse Alliance Plan B. And now I'm starting to think, could you be the Plan B? And you are giving us a smoke screen, telling us that you'll be led. Because we know that the person that is leading is someone whose name cannot appear on a ballot come 2026.
Malama, why are you trying to get words out of my
I'm
mouth?
not. I'm just trying to understand what you are thinking and what is going on with,
I
with
have
you
said
and the Tonse
I am
Alliance.
ready to be led. So whoever Tonse decide will lead the Tonse, so be it. In leadership, you don't go in a grouping and say, Kanofeni Nevo. No, that's the attitude I found in the UPND Alliance. It has to be Aga in the Ichidama. It has to be Aga in the Ichidama. That kind of nonsense does not build. Because there could be better people than you to lead. But because you're insisting, they'll give you a through ball. Then you fail to score, as we're seeing. You're fluffing at the penalty. The goalkeeper is not even in the goal. English away. There's no development. I mean, come on. So in Tonse, what so far, the meetings that I've attended, initially, and graciously so, the former president, as he invited me to join Tonse, he did say, even before you make a decision, we would love for you to come and sit in the meetings as an observer, which I did. Can you imagine sitting in a meeting as an observer and watching your friends discuss, but you can say nothing? And that's what I did, because he wanted me to feel the atmosphere and see how comfortable I was going to be. And like I said, I felt comfortable. You couldn't see that in other alliances. If you're not a member, you can't even be an observer. So that's the problem. So I have attended Tonse meetings as an observer. Then the invitation was formally made, and I said, okay, I can't make a personal decision. I've got to go back to my national executive as Zambia Must Prosper, and we have to sit and discuss. When this was brought, which was last week, I think, it was unanimous. And everybody just said, look, we're wasting time. Let's just move, and this is the direction to go. They asked me how the meetings went. I gave them my view, but I let them decide. They decided, that's the majority. That's it.
I can't shake this off. I mean, you have also been in the past looked to Edgar Lungu and have advised him, the former president, to step aside or to step down and allow, other people to take up the presidency and so on. Where does that ideology or that sentiment of yours sit today, knowing that you have joined the alliance and, like you've rightfully said, you are ready to be led?
Yes. Well,
do you still feel he should give way for the likes of you, the likes of Sean Tembo and so on, to be able to take up the presidency?
I think if you've spoken to ECL at a personal level, and I have one-on-one over many hours, you will find that he is not as rigid as people want to make him seem. No. What I find in the former president is his resolve to make Zambia a better person as a country, to make the youths of Zambia a better people, to make this nation move from the machinations where we are today. And because of that, I did ask very hard questions, I must say. But because the conversations were held in confidence, I can't delve into much of our conversation. But I can say, you have a meeting with a person, just the two of you, and you speak over 3.5 hours. At the next session, you have a conversation which runs through lunch. Now you're talking 5 hours plus, just the two of you. And then he insists that you have another meeting and another meeting. And then in that engagement, you're basically trying to find out, where are we going forward? And you find, okay, if we had differences, those differences have evaporated. If we had any kind of blind spots, they've been cleared away using Doom or Domestos or whatever it is that we've used. But we are now at a point where we are saying Zambia first.
That Zambia must prosper.
Malama, I said Zambia as a country. Why are you pushing that agenda?
No, because I'm just saying that Zambia must prosper. I'm just trying to
Zambia must prosper. Don't you agree?
Oh, now you're saying that not as a name, but as a sentence. I do agree with you. Of course, Zambia must prosper. Yes. And you're coming from the blind side. I know. Go on. Give it to me.
Well,
go on.
No, let's move on with the conversation.
Right.
We'll move on with the conversation. As Malama had said at the start, when you were announcing this joining the Tonse Alliance, you did speak on how you think the UPND are not as popular as they think they are, and 2026 will come and prove that. Now, you getting into an alliance, we have seen in the past, alliances never fall short of wrangles. But with us fast heading towards 2026, do you think this positioning has enough time to gain the popularity and even strength needed to make the UPND as unpopular as you had stated when you were getting into this alliance?
You must be the only Jew who doesn't travel by minibus. I do.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I get into buses.
Okay.
I visit the bus stops. I visit the barber shop. I've been using the same barber at the North Mead here since I lived here and moved. I still come back to North Mead. So I know what's in the markets. I know what's on the streets. But I also know what's happening in church. I know what people are talking about. The announcement that we made that Zambia Must Prosper is joining Tonse Alliance, I think has been received with such warmth and as a breath of fresh air by the well-meaning Zambians, because they know this is what we needed. But more importantly, within the alliance itself, I've received a lot of accolades and a lot of thank you and appreciation, because people realize experience. We do need the different and various experiences that we have to be brought to the fore so that we liberate the Zambians. Why do I say liberate? Because right now, unfortunately, we feel like as a nation we are heading into a dictatorial kind of arrangement. Even you, the two of you sitting here, let me finish that thought. For me, even this freedom that we're enjoying, if we're not careful, it might not be there. And I say this with honesty, because when you see a leader eating away at your various freedoms and liberties and rights, don't take it lightly. It starts off small, it builds. When somebody begins to use the Public Order Act like it was his Bible, when somebody begins to send the police and arrest people for seditious this, seditious that, like this is what he eats for breakfast, there's a problem. There's a very, very big chance that the freedoms that we are enjoying today, the questions you're asking me, you may not be asking me tomorrow. Because even this now, why has this even brought in the UN rapporteur? Because there's a problem.
They were invited by government itself. So it's not that they saw something wrong and came. It's government that had invited them. But even with the visit
let me just correct that. And we must put things in perspective. In August last year, 2024, a report was released about this country without the invitation. They released a report. They condemned this country. Now, it was because of that, and in reaction to that the government said, okay, come, as if to say, no, there's nothing here, come and see. Right. And I'm very glad that Madam Khan is here, because what she's seeing is that Mumbi Piri has just come out of jail. What she's seeing is that Bowman is in custody. What she's seeing is that GBM is in custody. And this is not about corruption fight.
And what she's also seeing is a politician fabricating that, the station where she's at is being surrounded by police to falsely cause panic or disruption. Like her presence also means nothing. We've also seen that.
I'm not one of those propagandists. I'm grounded. And when I speak on facts. The facts are as I see them. Madam Khan is going to produce a report, and I don't think it will be favorable to this country. Not so much that I want my country to be condemned, but because I want the politicians, current politicians, who are in leadership, to change their attitude. Leadership is about character. My friend at the Hero Stadium, read a speech, and he was emphasizing over 3 times, I will respect the rule of law. I will be guided by principles of good governance. I will lead a meritorious government. I am sorry to say, that's not what's happening, Malama.
But we've seen that, happen with any administration that comes in.
Why are we going to be discussing other administrations? We're talking about the current one.
Because it looks like then there must be a problem here.
No,
if it is
there must be a problem with character. There must be a problem with character.
So then how do we resolve this? Because whether it was the Patriotic Front, the UPND, who knows, it could be Zambia Must Prosper next. That will be using the Public Order Act to their advantage.
I think we must be very careful when we judge a book by its cover. And that's the mistake perhaps we made with my friend. And by my friend, I mean the president. Because everybody said, oh, this guy is a rich man. Oh, this guy is, he's been arrested 15 times. He won't do this, he won't do that. And he said that. Look at what he's doing. No. Let's look into the character of a person. It's very important. And I think in leadership, we must always attack the character of a person before he gets into leadership.
Then speaking on character, a lot of young people today feel like the much older generation, have been worn out. There's been a lot of wear and tear. It's time to hang the boots of the older generation and allow a younger people to be able to lead this country, because it seems like there's been a lot of disappointment, from
I do agree.
the wise.
I do agree that we need to infuse the young, and they must come within the ranks. But you and I know that when you're getting married, and it's not personal, Malama, right? Please, yeah. But they prepare you. Who prepares you? Your age mates? No. Don't answer. Legissima. Yes, they call the elderly because they realize experience. I realize the energy that the 82.2% youth come with. I realize that they come with force. They want to see change. They want to see this. They want to see that now. Not tomorrow, now. This is the now generation. So I respect that. However, I think in leadership, there's always the adage, which we must respect, that experience is the best teacher. And I think we should do. So whilst we bring in the young, let's not now hand over like in the Bible, where the young king took over and kicked away all the fathers, administrators, and advisors, and say, yeah, now I need my friends around here. The nation will crash. So I would ask that the young come and join us. Let's lead, grow within the system, and learn. And it's better that way.
Okay. Now, finally, let's touch what will be happening just next month, 6th of February. We expect by-elections in Pambashe and Petauke Central. We have seen all the controversy around the elections that passed in Kawambwa, violence here and there also. With your new standing here in an alliance, what do you make of the upcoming by-elections? That's Pambashe. And
so this is the tag team that you came with, right? She asks the soft questions and you come with this large hitting uppercut. Okay, I get it. Right on the jaw. Okay. As Zambia Must Prosper now, as a member of Tonse, we're definitely going to Pambashe. We're definitely going to go into Petauke. And the reason for it is, one, it's a learning curve. And two, we must get on the ground. Three, to invigorate and give impetus to our friends on the ground. It's important because when you're in an alliance, you must give support. And people must see that you are part of an alliance. You're not just talking. So we're going to walk the talk. We are going there. What happened in Kawamba, for instance, that was just stealing a vote. I've run elections. I know what rigging is. That vote was rigged. And I told the Tonse people, part of the aftermath or post-mortem that we had, I told them that vote was rigged. It was stolen. You can't have ECZ sitting in Inchelenge, which is 30, 40 kilometers from Kawamba. They're doing by-elections, and then you're going to do registration of voters up to 02 in the morning, and then you're transporting people from a different town to go and vote in Kawamba. Nothing falls from the textbook of rigging. You can't have videos of Sean Tembo being chased from a polling station by a gang of UPND cadres in a vehicle. And you're thinking, you can't be here when it's his right to be there, to monitor and to ensure that the counting is done properly. There were so many glaring reports that we received, even from a distance, that when I was vice chairman elections in the PF, we knew these things. And it was part of the system that we developed in terms of protecting the vote. I have told Tonse and I have told Zambia Must Prosper, going forward, we must learn to protect the vote. At any time, it's not voting that counts, it's protecting that vote. UPND has mastered the art of stealing votes in the various by-elections they've had. But I'm here to say to the Zambians, no more.